Hello everybody, my name is Michael and welcome back to Last the First. Alright, so finally the summer break is coming to a close. F1 is finally going to be back here soon in the next couple of days. And it's a little weird because it's actually the Dutch Grand Prix rather than Belgium. That's coming directly after the summer break, so that's going to make it feel a little strange, I got to be honest, but I'm definitely ready to get into it. And since we are a couple days out, I wanted to do some predictions for qualifying and for the race. So let's get into it, shall we? So for qualifying, I'm going to go with the top three in qualifying and then the top three in the race as well is what I'm going to try to guess and see how washed of an opinion that I have. So with P3, I'm actually going to go with Charles Leclerc. I think he's going to have a good race. He got a podium here last year. Everybody knows that he is excellent in qualifying, so I think he's going to have a good quality, and I think he's going to get P3. Will that stay the case in the race? Can never trust Ferrari, so not sure about that one. Now, P2 in qualifying, I'm going to go with Hamilton. I think Mercedes in general is going to have a good weekend, and Hamilton also is really on quite the run right now. He's having a great season. Russell was the one to get the podium last year, but Hamilton still had great race pace here last year, and I think he's going to do well. Now, drum roll, please. P1. Big surprise. Definitely have to go with Verstappen. I mean, how can you bet against him with the current run of form that he's on, the car that he's driving, just the combination of those two, and plus the 12 seconds per lap that he's going to gain by being at his home Grand Prix. I think it would take a miracle for him to not win. So I think he has it in the bag, but maybe we can all jinx it together and hope for the best. But, you know, it would be fun to see some records being broken or equaled. I know he's going to try to equal Vettel's record of 9 in a row this weekend, so it would be interesting to see that, as much as I would like somebody else to win. But I do like to see records being broken, so we'll see what happens there. Now, for the race, I think it's going to be an okay race, I guess, would be my guess. It's tough to overtake around there. The cars are so wide now, DRS not having, there not being that much drag for... Well, the cars are draggy, I should say. I'm trying to think of the words that I'm looking for. I'm forgetting the toe isn't as strong as it used to be. And the DRS, when you get behind them, isn't quite as powerful unless it's with the Red Bull, of course. So I think it's going to be tough to overtake is all that I'm saying. And we'll see what that entails. I think that's going to kind of show in my race predictions to some degree. So going to the top three of the race itself, P3, I'm going to have Hamilton. I think he's going to have a decent race and snatch up a podium and do what he can with the car that he's given. I don't think it's going to be challenging Red Bull by any means, but I think it probably will be the second fastest car. But who knows? Could be Ferrari, could be McLaren, could be Aston with a few new upgrades that they're bringing. That's the thing with everything besides Red Bull, is you really don't know who's going to be second best for the weekend, so we'll see. Now, P2, sad days for you Ferrari fans. I do not think it's going to be Leclerc in P2. I think Perez is actually going to get on the podium again and hit a 1-2 for Red Bull. Perez is starting to crawl back some pace that he had. He finally got back to P2 last time out in the Belgium Grand Prix. His quality pace is certainly not there yet. That's why I don't have him in the top three for qualifying, but I think that Red Bull is going to be so strong that I think he'll still be able to crawl up and get to P2. Now, the moment you've all been waiting for, P1 for the race. Max Verstappen. I bet, on top of predicting that he's going to win, I have a feeling that it's probably going to be by at least 30 seconds. I would not be surprised at all, even against his teammate, barring any safety car or something to bunch the field up. I think if it's a straight race, I think Verstappen is probably going to win by 30 seconds or so. I think he's not even going to have to push that hard, and he's just going to be sprinting off into the distance. So we'll see. I just hope it's an interesting race. Even if he does win, it would be fun to see some good overtaking and whatnot. But just good to have Formula One back one way or another. Now, a couple other things, a couple other predictions that I'm going to start. The first I'm going to call the disaster class of the weekend. So with that, as well as the opposite of that, the master class of the weekend, I'm then going to predict either a driver or a team, depending on what I'm feeling for the week, to be either have a disastrous weekend, whether they're making mistakes or just not performing how they should, or having a master class where they're just performing great. So I'm going to do that every week with the predictions as well. So starting with the disaster class of the weekend. Now this, I'm going with a driver, and this is based solely off of nothing except vibes. And I think Carlos Sainz is going to have a disaster class this weekend. I don't know why. I was just trying to figure out who would have not the best weekend. And I feel like Sainz has been a little hit or miss this weekend, or this year. His pace has been pretty solid, but for some reason he just hasn't put it together all the time, making some different errors. I just rewatched the Monaco highlights, and my goodness, some of the overtakes that he was trying to make there just didn't make any sense at all. I guess desperation in that case called for that. But yeah, so nothing other than vibes. I think he's going to have a pretty bad weekend. Maybe not even score any points. Maybe DNF, something like that. I think it's just not going to be a good weekend for him. Now, for the masterclass of the weekend, I've gone with a team, and I think that's going to be Mercedes. I think they performed really well here last year. I think it really suits their car. While they won't be challenging the Red Bulls, I think they're going to be really quick, have a strong package here. And I think Russell won't beat Hamilton, but I think he will have a better weekend this time out. He's been on a bit of a slump, but I think the team overall is going to perform really well and do what they need to do to get a podium. Certainly could give it to Red Bull every single weekend because they're just performing at an insane level, but just wanted to switch it up and do something different. Now, lastly, going to go with a bold prediction. This could be something out of left field, just something that I'm feeling could make for something that would be unexpected, I guess. And maybe this isn't the most unexpected things, but it could be. And that, I think Ricciardo is going to score at least 1 point. And with that, probably beat his teammate Tsunoda. I think he's going to have a better weekend than Tsunoda coming off of the summer break, and I think he's going to score a point. And we all know that AlphaTauri is an absolute tractor on wheels, with broken wheels and broken everything. So we know that's no mean feat to score a point, but I think Ricciardo will give it a whirl and try to get a point. So that is all of my predictions for this weekend's Dutch Grand Prix. I'm actually going to be away on a solo retreat this weekend, so unfortunately I'm not going to be watching it live, or I'm not going to be on social media, but I'll be back on Sunday, so I will get caught up on everything, and I will start pumping out some more content for the channel, doing some race reviews on that, as well as some videos on YouTube as well. So keep a lookout, and I will see you in the next one.